I know some of you put a lot of time into it, so I want to make sure you all know that. So, all right, here we go. Okay. Okay. Um, Here we start. We just have two sections, 5.4 and 5.5. This will be challenging. You are capable. You are capable of doing very well with it. It may require a lot of diligence. It may require you to ask some questions. Yes. Let's see. 4, 5, 4, 5. Okay, 4, 5. The definite integral. The integral f of x dx. Okay, bounded b to a is equal to big F of b minus big F of a, where f is any antiderivative of little f. You're used to that, right? We've seen that before. That's the fundamental theorem of calculus, part 1 or 2? Which one? That's part 2. Definitely part 2. Okay. Remember we covered part 2 first? Okay. Now, the indefinite integral is like this. There's no bounds. And we just say that that is big F of x plus c. So I'm going to connect some English here for you. Maybe you've heard the term in English, indefinite article and definite article. Okay? I am holding a key. I am holding the key. What is the difference in how I'm talking, what I'm applying? Something very specific, right? So definite article would be the key. Indefinite article would be a key. So the word a is, or an is used for indefinite scenarios where it could be a multiple of things. Whereas definite is one specific thing. So definite integral, you come out with one specific result, one answer. Indefinite integral, you come out with a general antiderivative plus a constant. Okay, now here's the cool thing. Okay, what's the derivative of c? C is a constant, 0. What's the derivative? What's the derivative of big F? Little f, right? So when you take the derivative of this, you should get this, right? So here's the cool thing about this section. And if you're willing to take the time, you can do very well with it. If I'm teaching the 8th graders how to solve two-step equations, how do they check their answers when they solve two-step equations? Plug it back in. Would you agree that if you were teaching 8th grade algebra right now, that telling the kids to check their answers would be a good strategy? That's you right now. When you come up with an antiderivative, you can check your answer by simply taking the derivative. And we're going to try that right now. This is the claim that the antiderivative of negative x sine of x dx is equal to x cosine of x minus sine of x plus c. I want to verify that's true, and I'm going to do it by differentiation. I'm going to take the derivative of this, and I should come up with that. How do I take the derivative of this? X cosine of x. Product rule. What's the derivative of x? Times cosine of x. Plus x times, what's the derivative of cosine of x? What's the derivative of negative sine? Negative cosine of x. And what is the derivative of c? 0, because it is a constant. What cancels, Brody? Cosines cancel. I'm left with a negative x sine of x. Is that the function? It is. It's right here. So we verified that that is the antiderivative. Now, this is a difficult antiderivative to find. You don't know how to do the reverse product rule. You will eventually. We'll teach you that. But okay, this one right here. I'm going to take the derivative of this. Okay. So what rule do I have to use if I want to take this derivative? The chain rule. What's on the inside? ax plus b. What's on the outside? I have 2 over 3a times u to what power? U to what power? 3 halves. What is the derivative of ax plus b? Note that The dx right here, that tells you the variable. So the variable is x. So that makes a and b just constant. So what's the derivative? Just a. If I take the derivative of 2 over 3a times u to the 3 halves, what happens to the 2/3? Goes away. I'm left with 1 over a times u to the 1/2. We're taking the derivative. I throw the power in front. We're taking the derivative. We're taking the derivative of this. Yep. Yes. Very good. So now I multiply these two together, right? What happens to the a and the 1 over a? So I'm left with u to the 1/2 or the square root of ax plus b. Because the derivative of c, as you said, is 0. Okay, so the first part of your assignment today is you're going to verify through differentiation that those are true. The second part is you're going to find general antiderivatives, okay? The indefinite integral. And so this type of problem, okay, now we're going to do the antiderivative. So what do I do the exponent? I add, and I get x to the 4/7 divided by 4/7, and you have to write plus a constant, because any constant would be an antiderivative. Nope, we're going to add 1, and so if you add 7 over 7 to negative 3 over 7, we get 4 over 7, right? So the answer is when we multiply by the reciprocal, 7x to the 4/7 over 4 plus a constant. You have to write plus c. If you don't write it on the test, every time you forget it, I take a point off. Because the integral of x squared dx, what's the antiderivative of x squared? X to the third over 3, right? Well, so is x to the third over 3 plus 1. So is x to the third over 3 minus 8. So we're just saying that if there's a constant, it could be any constant. There are many antiderivatives of x to the negative 3/7. Anything that fits that form. So this could be any constant. At some point, we'll find out what that constant is. Right now, we don't have any way of finding it. We don't have any information that can tell us, but eventually, we'll use that constant. It's important. So your constant is 0. Your constant 0. You always have to write plus c, yes. Okay. All right. Here, before I go about this, I have to distribute the 2x. And I get the integral of 2x minus 6x squared plus 2x to the 6th dx. What is the antiderivative of 2x? What's the antiderivative of negative 6x squared? 2x cubed. What's the antiderivative of 2x to the 6th? And then plus a constant. That's it. How would you do c? Multiply it out first. I get 2 plus g Now I'll take the antiderivative. What's the antiderivative of 2? 2, no, 2g. What's the antiderivative of g? And what's the antiderivative of 3g squared? Plus a constant. Can we please just do this last one? What's the antiderivative of 2 sine of theta? Is it positive 2 cosine theta or negative 2? It's negative 2 cosine theta. What's the antiderivative for cosine theta? Is it positive 4 sine or negative 4 sine? Positive 4 sine of theta plus c. Now, we're going to pick up with this again tomorrow. We're only going to take about 8 minutes to get through our notes. I'm going to give you the assignment right now.